Hello there, everybody. This is Alex from Hardcorian Guides, bringing you my guide for South Park: The Stick of Truth on hardcore difficulty with no healing and no items. And today we're doing the next dungeon, which is Attack the School. And this is in day 2. And I think after you finish this dungeon, you have to go back home right after, because I think day 2 was relatively short for what it is. Unless there was maybe like an extra thing I did, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure that after this dungeon is when we've got to go back to bed, and then we have to deal with the gnomes invading our home, and then deal with all that stuff. So, looks like right now I'm just equipping new stuff. I got a big rank up, I think it was, in like the last cutscene or whatever it was, and yeah, I'm trying to remember. Did we recruit? Yeah, we did the recruiting the Goths in the last episode. That's what it was. But I was, like, super tired. Speaking of super tired, like, I'm not exactly there yet, but I think I'm probably only able to record one commentary for one video today. Because right now it's 9:30, and I usually don't like recording commentary at night. I mean, I've been doing it because I kind of just have. It's just a thing I do right now, I guess. But I usually don't like recording it this late because I'll eventually get tired and then just, you know, ruin the commentary, I guess. Man, I'm doing a lot of switching. Holy crap. Yeah, before I did all this stuff, I got up to, let's see, I finished chapter 3 of my next guide. It's funny, I haven't even actually told anybody anything of this yet. I mean, I've told people around me what it is, but I haven't told you guys, and I about spoiled the surprise. So I kind of want to keep it somewhat hidden, I guess. Even though I'm sure most people that probably care that much about the next guide, well, they're probably not watching this one specifically, but hey, you know, just in case. I like to keep things a surprise, that way when it comes, it feels better, and hopefully it'll probably come, so maybe it'll start like, I don't know, like next week or something, hopefully. Because today is Sunday, which is Easter Sunday, and I got back home not that long ago. Like I said, it's like 9 o'clock, 9:30 right now, and I just want to go watch videos and keep playing the game that I've been playing. So I guess as a little hint, yes, I am in like chapter 3 or level 3 or whatever you want to call it. But they are called chapter 3, so I guess that's a sort of hint to what it could be. I'll tell you this, it's something that I'm sure maybe some people have been waiting for. I'm not sure. Because the thing is, like with South Park, like it seems like people like my South Park stuff. For the most part, especially on my Let's Play channel, that's where it really boomed. But for this next guide, it's a game that is relatively popular. Although it's another version of the game that's not too popular. I mean, it's still popular, but like it's not as, you know, interesting, I guess, so to speak. But it's the version that I have and version I've played and grown up playing, so. Also, there's that kid right there. I didn't even bother with. I kind of forgot to bother with him. But this is the first time when you get to pick sides between either the humans or the elves. And so for this playthrough specifically, I went elves both times because you can actually switch after you get done with. I think it's like I think once you start off day 3 or like near the end of day 3 or whatever. Or no, it might have been in this same. It might have been this one. Yeah, I think it's this video particularly too. I think you pick whatever side that you wanted to join first. You go to whoever's house, and then you fight the other members when you go to the school. And I haven't done that maybe ever, or maybe even for a while. It's been so long. I usually just pick Cartman first because you get equipped with butters. And I don't know, I just kind of, you know, dumbed out and didn't realize who I was playing with. So I essentially just stuck with what I had and just said, screw it, alright. I mean, if the game wants to be a little harder, then sure. Because I feel like Kyle's buddies that he gives you they're a lot less useful than some of the buddies that Cartman gives you. However, Kyle himself is relatively really good too. Like, a really good team player, for like no doubt about it. It's just like Jimmy and Stan aren't really the best at what they're the weaker of the buddies. But on Cartman's side, it's just Kenny that's typically seen as the weaker one, whereas like Butters and Cartman are really good. So it's a pick your poison type of thing, I guess. I mean, it truly doesn't matter that much, but like I said, just knowing that Butters is like the end-all, be-all buddy of the game is just ridiculous. Like, even on a normal playthrough, I mean, his buddy ability, the ability to heal you, you know, I would argue that's pretty good. I mean, Jimmy's ability to, you know, give you PP back, like, I think like 6 it was, that's not too bad, so. Also, the Necromancer gloves, I thought I was going to end up wearing them on the Kenny fight, but then I ended up not doing it, so I kind of just forgot about it. Also, I do believe that when you do come back here, you can collect things you probably haven't collected in the last time, but I always try to collect whatever I can that's missable in the first school dungeon that you get to play, because that way I feel like I don't miss. Particularly, I guess, I don't know, words, they don't work very well, but I just feel like it makes it seem like that's what I'm supposed to do, so just whatever. But anyway, now we're gonna head down to the basement, and there are things lurking down there. Well, after I guess I do this fight, I kind of forgot that he was there. But yeah, we're gonna be heading down to the basement, and there's gonna be another, of course, surprise going on down there. Nothing too crazy, but you know, one of those things. Also, I love this weapon, just because the fact that it goes through other enemies and hits the one in the back row is just crazy. And then, of course, right there, I kind of forgot that he was reflecting, which is funny because I remember distinctly playing through this, and then I got hit by the reflect, and then I told myself, because like usually when I'm doing these guides, I like to kind of think what I'm going to say, you know, before I do the commentary. Like while I'm playing the game, I'm like, oh, I could say this or that, and funny enough, I think that was what I wanted to say, was like, oh, I forgot that he was reflecting, and then I got hit, so I just find it kind of dumb that I would do that, I guess. But yeah, I believe, like, yeah, at the end of this dungeon, you get to pick, again, who you want to join with, either Kyle or Cartman. You eventually get both anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but I just go with Kyle. And besides, like, their fight, like the boss fight with either Kyle or Cartman, is relatively about the same. They both end the same way. It's just, you know, one could potentially argue that Cartman's could be funnier to fight because, you know, of his magic abilities, so to speak. But yeah, now we have to fight Nazi zombie ginger hall monitors, or just ginger Uber Lieutenant. I'm not really good at the German speak because I haven't really learned German. I do know of German and I am interested, but I don't. Yeah, I'm not the best. Because like this one's spelled with an O, but like aren't they usually just spelled? And I forget what they call it. But I mean, hey, you know, I'm pretty sure Matt and Trey probably know their German, especially with, I think like one of the last episodes of South Park where, what was it? I'm trying to remember. Crap. There was like a running joke of essentially South. Oh, it was something about like them wearing pajamas. That's what it was. It was pajamas to school, pajama day, and the kids weren't allowed to wear it. And so like the news reporter, just, of course, in typical South Park fashion, just eventually escalated to like, you know, like it escalates, or it gets gradually more ridiculous as, you know, the episode goes on, where he's just speaking in German, like very, you know, normal, not really normal, but like just super small German, and then it just gets bigger and bigger, and then I couldn't figure it out, and my brother couldn't figure out what he was saying either, and yeah, he's supposed to be the German guy, you know, the one that knows a little more German because he took it, but hey, you know, we all forget things, so, I mean, hell, I took Spanish when I was young. I took like Spanish, like 3 classes of Spanish, and completely forgot like 90% of it, so. Mainly because I kind of just, I mean, like after school, I forgot most of that crap anyway. But yeah, this fight goes on for so long, only due to the fact that I'm pretty much playing with Jimmy, and I'm just putting them to sleep. And I'm just not doing very well. I'm trying to protect Jimmy the best I can, and there was no point of me doing this, but I figured I might as well put them to sleep before I make him leave. Now, again, technically there is no point considering the fact that they're just going to wait. I'm going to wake one back up, but hey. That's just a game theory. So, yeah, Swap Buddy saved me some trouble. Technically, it's not a heal, considering the fact that Stan never took damage anyway until this fight, so at the very least, I won't really count it as a heal. Again, if you want to be a purist, you could always try it yourself, and then try maybe no buddy swapping too. But I didn't, so I cheated. Well, I mean, hey, I did what I set out to do. But I think that would be kind of an interesting playthrough, is just having an extremely minimalist type run. But it could also be boring too, depends on things. But I feel like not being able to use your buddy would be extremely minimalist, but I don't think you can even play the game without your buddy, to be honest with you. I think you have to at least have a buddy equipped. Also, I think this is the first-ish time that I've ever saw this buddy interaction. Because I normally never do Kyle's side of things. I might have done it once, but it's been so long that I literally don't remember any of this stuff. So, who knows? Like I said, it's been a hot minute. It's been a while. But yeah, for the most part in this entire room, you can just take out basically all the guards. I mean, they're not that hard, but they are tough in terms of fight because they can cause gross out. They still have ginger abilities. It's just unfortunately that they are also immune to gross out, considering the fact that they are now Nazi zombies. So, of course, in here we actually have one of the Jimbo Big Hunt side quest monsters that you can face, which is going to be the what the hell is it called? The angry bacteria or something like that. Something. So on those lines, mutant bacteria. That's what it was. So bacteria typically, they don't appear very often, of course, considering the fact that they're just bacteria. And they're supposed to be relatively small. And they only appear, I believe, in Mr. Slave's ass. So, and it makes sense fighting him in the school, but the fact that he's giant size, I mean, what else can they do, right? But, yeah, bacteria, for the most part, typically always have regenerative abilities. And they don't... Well, this one specifically never... This one doesn't have armor. He just has a lot of defense, which is strength. Well, not even defense. He just has a lot of... I think, health. I think that's what's making him so tanky. I don't know why I bothered throwing the discus. Which, actually, the discus, in Mr. Slave's dungeon... Or, well, I probably won't... I'm just going to count it inside of Clyde's dungeon. But basically, inside of Mr. Slave's ass... the Discus of Might is not a bad ability for Stan to use, because there are multiple of those enemies. And the best part is, I think it attacks up to, 3 or 4 enemies on screen at once. So, once you get to the point where, spoiler alert, I think you have to fight, what was it, Nazi zombie bacteria, I think. So, I don't remember if bacteria respawn in general, but, I mean, when they're Nazi zombies, then they can come back to life. So, when they're on the field, if they're not, gone. Which, that's where Stan's Discus of Might could potentially come in handy. His other abilities are too similar to really matter. I don't really know the full difference between his normal slashing ability that he gets and then his level 10 slashing ability, which I think is level 10. Basically, his final ability. I don't know exactly the difference besides, an added cutscene. I mean, I think the first one, does... I don't know, bleeding and defense down, and the other one could do something completely different. I always just assumed it was probably about the same thing anyway, but still. Alright, so next up is, of course, trying to get through here, and you essentially have to stand near this, well, flipped over table that's drawn like a tower, and let Butters, hit it with fire, blow it up. There you go, you get at least a free kill. I got really lucky, though, because I tried running back because I was scared, and I was trying to run back and shoot them with arrows to stun them. But there's a little fun trick you could probably do. You could just have Butters send down fire, let them all run into it, burn, die, save the trouble. So, speaking of being a dumbass, I did actually forget what I was supposed to do, and luckily Kyle was here to tell me. I don't know how I forgot about this. It's just one of those things that just happens. You know how it goes. I make mistakes. So, it is what it is. Actually, you know what's funny? I just noticed. Pip's not here. But, I mean, Pip did die. Still. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It's just one of those things. But yeah, I believe I have actually fought Butters before, so I'm pretty sure I've done a playthrough of this. But Butters is much... Okay, I don't know. I would... the normal fight... Well, normal. If you were doing Cartman's side, you'd be fighting Stan. And you'd be fighting Stan and Sparky both. You would have 2 enemies to fight. But for this, you're fighting just Butters. So the main difference is the fact that Butters is literally about the same skill set as he is normally. However, with Stan, if you were to take out Sparky before you take out Stan, he would actually get, I think, damage up and maybe even ability up. I don't remember exactly, but he does get damage up. And I don't know what happens if you kill Stan before you kill Sparky. I don't think anything does, but I would assume so, possibly. I mean, it's just an interesting fight that you could potentially do. However, in terms of difficulty, I mean, Butters, I think, is just a little more tanky. Plus, he has this bullshit move. So, I would probably assume that maybe Stan might be the easier fight. Yeah, there's 2 of them. But Stan isn't really tanky, and he doesn't really do enough to really hurt. It's just more so like Butters being tanky and having the ability to remove debuffs. Or, I mean, to basically just debuff and, of course, do most of his normal attacks. Like his Hammer of Justice and his Hammer of Storms. And I don't think he can do Professor Chaos. But, however, even then still, he's quite an asshole to deal with, so... And I believe he does count as a boss, so we can't put him to sleep. But I think at this point, I think I have Brown Note unlocked, maybe. But yeah, we can't put him to sleep, and we can't, you know, stun him, so... Essentially, my best advice for this is to knock off his armor. Just knock off his defense, which is the armor, of course. Just knock that off as much as you can. Get rid of that tankiness. And then, okay, we don't have Brown Note yet, but we will get it eventually. I don't know why I bothered. Maybe he's not actually a boss. Yeah, you saw there that my game, it's... I don't know what's wrong with it. This is actually a move that, in all technicality, Butters does actually have. In, like, normal Butters does technically have, because Chaos Cloak. However, in all technicality, if you want to be absolutely technical with it, Butters does not actually have that ability at a normal buddy playthrough. He only gets it in this boss fight. That specific move where he gets 5 shield. But again, like I said, if you want to go back to being completely... Sort of. Sorry, sticky stuff. Sticky stuff on my desk. It's bothering me. So, yeah, if you want to be 100%, well, not even 100%, but if you want to be like slightly technical, then yeah, Butters, Chaos Cloak, which gives you 9 shield, I believe it was, which is really, 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 really good for major boss fights. Just saying. But getting that timing down is going to be important, and that timing is what saved my ass multiple times when I did the Kenny boss fight, and that's why I feel that you could potentially do any boss fight in this game at all and actually be able to do it with any class if you have Butters Chaos Cloaked summon, especially for Kenny. So, yeah, just, you know, keep that in mind when you're going through it. Let's see, what did I get this time? Probably Horn, I think. Deafens all foes, and then I think it causes defense down on everybody, was it? I didn't catch it in time. Either way, if you're that curious, you know, you could check it out yourself. You could go back, you know, rewind the video and see. Just make sure. Or, I mean, there is actually a, like, fandom Wikipedia thing that you can look at for every class's abilities, which is nice, and it actually tells you, like, all the upgrades and stuff. You do have to kind of, like, finagle around it, but still. Also, 18 PP to use. Technically, it's like 2 PP less than what your main character's final ability ends up being, but still. And it's not even really like a great move for Jimmy, because, like, I mean, all it does is cause defense down plus a little bit of damage and maybe a little bit of armor knock. I don't think so, but it just isn't really much of anything great. In all technicality, it's probably his best move that he can do offensively. However, it's still nothing I would consider too awesome. Funny enough, his normal shot is actually pretty strong, kind of, but that could just be because of level. I'm not really 100% sure on that. Plus, the defense down I had on, too. But yeah, look at that. I think I just missed a shot. I might have just missed that shot, but that dude just... he ate it. I mean, granted, it is a low-level weapon probably by now. It's like level 8. And I think I'm like probably level 10 plus. I don't remember. If that's the case, I mean, yeah, it's slightly closer to what level I'm at right now, but even then still. The other thing, too, I want to mention is that if you were playing with Butters on your team, you would have to actually heal a couple of your buddies. So, in all technicality, I think maybe speedrunning might be a little faster by doing this side of things, but I'm not really a speedrunner, so. Also, I always forget these guys' names. The two in the background. I think it said Billy. And maybe like, I think it's like Billy and Doug or something like that. I don't remember. But they're the characters that you don't really see ever. I don't think they've ever come back, like, at all. I haven't seen them since, like, this game. I mean, I haven't really been paying attention, but maybe it's because I haven't really been in the, you know, the forefront of episodes. Never really were anyway. I don't even remember what episode they were even originally in. I know they're like early season characters, where all they basically say is just, you know, oh, that's good, you know, that kind of stuff. Bill and Fosse. God damn it! I don't know why I keep thinking Doug. I don't know. It just sounds right. So yeah, that's pretty much their entire character back then, was just saying that. So, and again, I don't exactly remember. Oh god, I just got reminded of something when I saw that toilet. Basically, my brother showed me a video of somebody that had a giant, massive shit in a I think it was in a public bathroom. It was the funniest thing. I don't know why I don't know. I still laugh at poop jokes, so you know, I guess I still have a sense of humor, but it was just the funniest thing for some reason. It just caught me off guard, I guess. But okay, real quick, I do want to say that in this room is a missable friend, which is Lemmy Wings. So you need to befriend him in there. Make sure you go to the 5th grade classroom first, and then go to the 4th grade. Because if you go to the 4th grade first, you're going to miss out on going back and getting Lemmy Wings. And if you want to pick whoever you want to pick, then you just hit him. Which is funny, because like in my last playthrough of this game, when I was testing this game out to see if I can beat the whole thing with, you know, the way I'm doing it for this guide, I ended up wanting to pick Kyle, but I accidentally hit square on Kyle, and then ended up just having to fight Kyle. So I said, alright, fuck it, whatever. Again, it doesn't truly matter very much, because I think they don't really be your buddy for a while anyway, so it's not really a big deal. Also, Cartman's ice ability, I don't think he actually has. I don't believe so. I think that's just a sort of rare thing for him to have in this specific boss fight. Which I believe he is a boss, because like if he wasn't a boss, he would have been stunned. But of course, just like with any fight, you know, slow, burn, bleed, gross out, all types of status you can do to him, you really want to do. Just so you can make things go by a lot faster. But other than that, he is really just not a tough fight at all. Yeah, you have no buddies fighting with you, but even then, he's relatively weak. Of course, compared to like what the aliens were, because jeez. And then here, you just basically have a free win. Free mash of the button, and then you win. And after this, you run back home before you get grounded, which doesn't really matter if you make it there or not. So, yeah, that will be it for this, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. So, take care, everybody.
Mommy and Daddy spot.